Hi, and welcome to show number 41 of the elcafecitotraveltalks, a podcast where people share travel stories and adventures. My name is Tony Lloyd, and I'm your host. And this episode, I'll be continuing with the holiday special I did jointly with 105.1 Mic FM in Montreal, Canada. But before we start, I'd just like to remind everyone, if you would like to donate, to please take a look at the podcast notes to see how you could do so. All of our written stories are on our Facebook page. If you're someone who likes to write or have an idea for a future show, please send us an email to elcafecitotraveltalks@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, ways that I could improve on this show, also to that email, which is elcafecitotraveltalks@gmail.com. So please get yourself a tea or a coffee and enjoy the second part of this Christmas special.
Question 3. What was the best gift you've ever received?
I remember being like 8 years old, I think it was, and I got one of those Nerf guns. I think they're called Nerf guns now. I'm not sure if they were called that back then, but where they shoot those kind of polystyrene arrows. I was so rapt. It was over the moon to have received that, and was going around shooting it at my brothers and sisters. My brother got really angry and bloody put the Nerf gun, put the bullets into the microwave and melted the bastards. Like on the first day of Christmas, like actually on Christmas Day, he ruined my Christmas present and ruined my Christmas. I was so excited. I was so angry.
Oh, and I hope he's changed since then.
No, he hasn't changed. He's still a bully.
A t-shirt, it symbolized my personality. It said in French, never give up. I still remember I was 14 years old and I just loved that shirt.
Strangely, and if I go back to childhood, for Christmas gifts, we were actually given, it wasn't toys, it wasn't dolls, it was new clothes, wonderful new clothes. So those are in terms of being given a gift that I could open up. But I think the best gifts that we had was, as I said, we were very isolated from our family in South Africa, but there was a group of family, people we called family in Zambia who were South Africans. So it was to have those sorts of cousins come over to visit us for Christmas or us going to visit them for Christmas. I think that for me was the biggest gift, being able to spend time with family and friends at Christmas time.
I would say one of the best presents I've ever been given was the gift of friendship. Which I received one Christmas when I went to stay with someone unexpectedly, and I kind of turned up on their doorstep, and they said, "Hey, come and stay," and yeah, it was nice.
I was given by my partner an invitation to travel, and we went to Australia and New Zealand, and that was amazing.
The best gift that I've ever been given is that my parents gave me the opportunity to travel. Having the ability to travel and the freedom to travel, the opportunity to travel. I happen to be born in a country in which you're not prohibited from doing a wide variety of activities. And for me, my parents gave me the opportunity to travel.
One of the best gifts I've ever been given, I was about 8 years old, and I was given a world map. One of these big world maps, and in my bedroom, I had it right above my bed. And it was really cool because every time I would hear of something, a different thing happened somewhere in the world, it was like one of the first times that I sort of connected that there were different continents, different countries. Yes, I know that, I already knew that my father was English, my mother was Jamaican, I'm Canadian by that point. But I could see that there were other countries and there were other places, and I thought, wow, there's so many places to see in this world. Then I also really got involved in, like, every time somebody would mention a country or I would meet somebody on the streets or at school, and you're with kids from other countries. And I remember Enzo would say something like, okay, I'm from Italy, or Carlos would say, I'm from Venezuela, or Anamike would say, my parents are from Holland. And I remember thinking, I can't wait to get home to look at my map on the wall to see where they're from and where it sort of fits into the world. So That was my fondest gift. I remember for quite a while, and up until today, I still love looking at maps. One of my favorite things to do is if I hear in the news or in a podcast or anything like that, if I hear any sort of country that I'm like going, what is that country? To Google it right away. So I'm still very fond of looking where places are. I know I won't make it to most of these countries before I die, but I could at least go into the internet and take a look and see, okay, what's happening there? You know, what sort of structure they have? What do people eat in there? Since I'm such a big foodie, that's something that I'm always interested in. So definitely the map that I got when I was about 8 years old, that just provoked this interest for like, okay, continuing to see different parts of the world and see how people are living in different parts of the world.
Question 4. What was the best gift you've ever given someone?
It took a while in the making, actually. I had a custom-made weather vane created for my mum and organized it with my brothers and sisters as well to all put in for it. And it's this beautiful dragon that she has on the top of her house. She lives on a farm in the country in Victoria with probably like 350 hectares or something like that. And this weather vane now takes pride of place on their deck. It's beautiful.
A pen which was very dear to me because that pen was given to me by one of my uncles who died. And then I gave it to someone very special. That lady I was talking to you about, I gave it to her husband.
The best gifts I've ever given somebody, my husband incidentally is actually English. So he's from the northeast of England, and they take Christmas very, very seriously. So we spend a lot of time, especially when the girls were young, thinking about what presents we were going to give them. And I think maybe the happiest face I ever saw in one of my children was my middle daughter, Malika. At the time, she was very much into High School Musical, and I bought her the High School Musical DVD set. And it was just the sheer joy on her face when she got that box with the High School Musical videos. I think for me is the most memorable moment of seeing somebody really appreciative of the gift I've given them.
It was a few years ago, I gave my girlfriend, who's from Greece, and who's also blind, and I gave her a heart made of blue glass, called Bristol blue glass, and in England, and it's blown. This is a tactile small heart, and she could feel it and hold it.
Okay. And actually, this radio station that we're on right now is owned by Greek owners. So do you know any phrases in Greek?
Yes. Yasu, which means hello. Chikanis, how are you? And Efrosto, amigo, which means thank you.
I think it was a puppy. I gave my parents a puppy. They didn't want one, but I just brought it, and they were upset at me for like a couple of days. But then they just fell in love with the puppy. And my father, who sometimes deal with anxiety and depression, his attitude completely changed through the animal. I think I don't know. They connected with animals through this puppy that they still have, and they adore it.
Ooh, okay. The best gift that I've given somebody, a quilt. Being a healthcare provider, if you have a cough or a sniffle, you have to go get tested for COVID. The first week Montreal was in lockdown, I had a cough, so I had to go and get tested. And fortunately, I was negative. It took a week and a half to receive that information, so I was isolated at home. And during that time, I made 2 what I call my COVID quilts. One for my husband, king size quilt, and one for my mother, a lap quilt. And I named them, well, my mother's quilt is her COVID picnic quilt, because as soon as we were able to leave our isolation, move out, we had an impromptu picnic in the park. And she utilized that quilt for her, on her lap, so we can put our food independently. And I made a king size COVID quilt for my husband, which I gave him an early Christmas present, and he is using it as we speak.
I would say the best gift I've ever given someone is actually an ongoing tradition that I still practice today. So I run a hostel, and I've been in the hostel industry now for more than 20 years, El Cafecito Hostel. Each year around Christmas time, there's always somebody who shows up, and it's the first time they've ever traveled away for Christmas, or it's the first time they've ever been maybe in a place like South America where there's no snow. There's always like somebody from Europe or from Canada. You could see how they're a little bit like, oh, I miss home, and I miss that it's not going to be the same. Christmas is not going to, it's not going to be fun this year. So every year I do a Christmas potluck lunch. It just gives me so much pleasure in putting together these potluck lunches that it's more about watching the reactions of people's faces, watching how people from different parts of the world could come together. And I always have this thing about, okay, different people coming together, preparing a meal, and then sitting down and eating the meal together. So the idea is that we put something together, but then we also benefit from that. Seeing the joys that people have on their faces and, you know, sharing with each other. We always have a time at the end of the meal where people tell different stories, or they play games, or they show us about traditions of their countries. So my gift basically is creating the space for people to be able to do that, to have this exchange. And to me, I think that's the greatest gift, and every year that's something I look forward to.
Question 5. What are your holiday plans for 2020?
I'm heading down to Melbourne, going to be visiting a lot of friends and family that I haven't been able to see since the start of the year. But it's really, it's great here at the moment. We went into a lockdown pretty quickly and closed all of our borders. So that means, you know, no one can go overseas.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, I went overseas last year and I did this big European trip. So I didn't have a big trip planned this year at all anyway. It's like there's no COVID cases anymore. The only cases are generally in hotels with people coming back from overseas or something like that, and they have to quarantine, like they have a mandatory quarantine. So Australia's like living the dream at the moment. I walk around, there's not really anybody in masks. We can go to bars. We can nightclubs have just started opening up.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the place to be. It's Australia at the moment. What that means is actually it's all about domestic travel. Everyone's traveling interstate or within their own state, and accommodation is all booked out. I think I've got a mate who works at booking.com, and he said that every rental, every hotel is like booked out to like 99.9% or something. So if you hadn't planned it, you're not going anywhere. So for me, I'm just heading down home.
For this holiday season, because of Corona and the COVID and my health, not forgetting that my immunity system is very low, I don't know if I'm going to travel, but if I could, I would love to go and see my family, because I didn't meet them and I didn't see them since last January.
And if that does not happen, what would you do second?
I am in Pakistan right now, so I will stay here and I will enjoy my holidays here.
As you know, South Africa has probably got the highest rate of COVID infections on the African continent. Okay. And in fact, tonight our president has just announced some new measures which are going to take place over Christmas. We suspect those are going to be increased restrictions. However, even despite the increased restrictive measures that we were expecting, we as a family had already planned that we were going to stay at home and just celebrate Christmas as a family. The bit of the family that is here in South Africa. My mother is now 78. She just turned 78 3-4 days ago. So over the past 3 or 4 weeks, we've actually created our safe family bubbles so that we know that on Christmas Day, we can come together as a grouping of about 14, 15, 16 people from our immediate family and celebrate Christmas together. The unfortunate thing is that there are members of my family who are not with us in South Africa. So as I say, my husband is English. His parents are also very old. So he's in the UK having to take care of his parents. My youngest daughter is at school in Italy. And she's actually been locked down at her college in Italy. So we have, although we'll be celebrating with the other family here in South Africa, we will be having some Zoom sessions with those family that are not going to be able to be with us on Christmas Day. And I think that's going to be quite special because, as I said, growing up, We knew we had family in other parts of the world because we're in exile, but we couldn't even celebrate with them, even with the Zoom call. And this time, I think what's going to be really special, despite the fact that it's going to be difficult, is that we're still going to be able to see each other's Christmas tables, see each other's turkey or Cornish hens on the day, and celebrate it virtually, even though we can't be together. And I think that's a true blessing of today's technology.
Yeah, so normally I'd be with my family, which live about 100 kilometers away from me, or I'd be in Greece with my girlfriend's family. But sadly this year, because of COVID, and because I had to isolate because I've got a low immune system, I'll be by myself in my little flat, and probably just go say hello to my neighbour down below on Christmas Day, and then probably spend most of it in bed in the morning, and then speak with my family via Zoom in the afternoon, and then maybe play some games and stuff over Zoom, and then speak to my girlfriend in the evening. And I'll probably have a few drinks, soft drinks, and maybe cook some sausages. It's my favourite food.
Yeah,
We're pretty hard one this year.
Well, this the year of the pandemic that will never be forgotten. I think it's a time to spend with family and to spend in your own country, actually discovering new things that you haven't seen in your country. I think that's what I am doing right now, is traveling with my family on the coast and going to rivers and enjoy simple things in nature.
For 2020, my holiday plans is to remain safe and see 2021. Everything else is a bonus.
Well, as I mentioned before, putting together the potluck lunch, I know that this year, because travel is very limited, we're not going to have a group like we had in years before, where we've had like 30, 40 people come together. Like the largest group we ever had was about 40 people come together. This year it might only end up being about myself and 3 or 4 other people. But at the same time, I look forward to just having that small group of people. And then I'm also very excited this year that Zoom is such a part of our lives. So with my regular Christmas calls this year, we'll be doing video and, taking some time to get online and connecting with friends and families all over the world. They won't be as many people with me physically as I've had in previous years, but definitely virtually we'll be connecting. And obviously staying safe.
Question 6. Do you have suggestions for how others can celebrate the 2020 holidays?
I do it safely. I think it was an incredible time over our winter, seeing friends in Europe and America traveling around, yet the cases were just growing and growing. And now we're seeing Europe and America with these day-on-day record increases and deaths. And it's like, I feel that there needs to be a sense of traveling with respect, I guess, and being safe. If you've got a few months to travel, come to Australia to spend 2 weeks in quarantine, and then it's like traveling anywhere else it's like traveling at any other time without a pandemic.
Okay, so anyone who's interested in going down under are more than welcome, but just they have to remember that they have to do, I think it's 14-day quarantine.
Yeah, and I also think it's mandatory, and you have to pay for the hotel. It's not like you can't just go to someone's house.
Okay.
It's pretty strict. I believe they even take away the key.
Okay. So keep that in mind if you're planning on going to Australia. You could have a great time. However, you might be locked in a hotel for 14 days. So make sure.
Yeah, but once you get out, it's worth it because it's just like life as normal.
Obviously, we cannot socialize because of the social distance, but maybe donate to people who cannot afford a meal. This is what I would do, and this is what we can really do at this time. Maybe buy some sanitizers, masks, donate them to people who cannot afford them, or if we can meet our families and we are safe and we are not COVID positive, then spend some time with the family, because I almost died. I was just sitting and I ended up in hospital, declared dead. So I highly recommend spending time with your parents and your family, because you never know how short life is.
A lot of people are going to be very disappointed that they can't they can't be with family or friends this time of the year. But I think maybe to just say to people, take solace in the fact that at least the family and friends are safe and they're still alive. There are going to be quite a lot of people this Christmas who will be sitting without a family member because that family member has died due to the coronavirus. We are fortunate in my family that we've not had any deaths in our family, and we hope it stays that way. So it's important that we keep safe. We are grateful that we can at least see each other in the virtual space. And I think maybe take some time to self-reflect at this Christmas time at how important it is to have family and friends, because you can't see them. So let's then in 2021 appreciate them a lot more. Whatever moments we've got to have with our friends and families, let's make those very special moments because of the learnings we've had this year.
Yeah, so a couple of days before Christmas, maybe if they can get to the shops, maybe get some snacks in, their favourite sort of snacks and food, and if they're living with other people, then buy a few drinks and have a little small celebration together. But for anyone sort of on their own, maybe just try and hook up with their family through Zoom or Skype or whatever, and try and do that way, or the phone, and just try and at least talk to someone on Christmas Day, and like I say, maybe sort of get their favorite food and cook that, or something like that.
I suggest that gratitude, I think, is being surrounded by our families in this time, be able to share our time and life with people, and even to have a holiday is something that we should cherish and value. And I suggest for everybody to do it with gratitude and focus on gratitude and pray. That's my suggestion.
During this holiday period, because of COVID, it has presented a multitude of problems. Number one, people are isolated, cannot get together. Consequently, that isolation augments individuals who have mental health challenges. What I would say to people is, number one, especially for COVID, follow the recommendations of your healthcare professionals. Number two, check up on somebody. Every single day, call somebody that is at home or alone, or maybe having some type of challenge, and just call and say hi. How are you? Listen to them and be there for them. In Montreal, we've got a wide variety of organizations, religious and non-religious, in which they say, if you have any problems, call, and somebody will be able to listen to you. So what I wish for everybody this year is to remain connected via telephone, via Zoom, through the internet, whatever social media platform you have, to reach out to somebody, to make sure that nobody remains alone, and nobody, even though we're in our own houses, remains isolated.
First of all, stay safe. Follow the precautions that your individual communities are suggesting in order to reduce this pandemia and reduce your possibility of getting contacted. Second of all, I would say stay connected. Try to find someone within your community or someone's within your community in which maybe you could help. Maybe there are donations that you can make within your area to donate to people for meals. Any little thing that you could do to help without going, putting yourself at risk with a big audience of people. There's always somebody out there that is going to be needing help in some way or the other. So the third thing I would say is that if you're feeling a bit too enclosed from where you are, take a walk. Take a walk in somewhere where there's not a lot of people around, maybe a park, go for a walk in the snow, go for a walk on the beach. just take some time to take that walk out in nature. Not putting yourself at risk by any means. I'm not talking about walking to places where it's really crowded or being locked into buildings or anything like that. Just taking the time to go out into nature and allowing yourself to breathe in some natural air and being one with nature for a little bit. Those would be my 3 suggestions.
Merry Christmas from sunny Australia. We miss you. Hope to see you soon.
मेरी तरफ से सबको बहुत बहुत this is in Urdu, okay? मेरी तरफ से सबको बहुत बहुत हज़रत ईसा का जन्मदिन मुबारक हो और हम लोग क्रिसमस को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सेलिब्रेट कर सकें और उसकी रिस्पेक्ट कर सकें, क्योंकि हमारा ईमान तभी पूरा होता है जब हम लोग हज़रत ईसा पे ईमान लेकर आते हैं. Joyeux fête and Merry Christmas. And I just said in Urdu that we are not completed until we believe in Jesus. We can be of any religion. Without Jesus, we cannot continue any religion. So Merry Christmas to everybody and enjoy this season with this cold, with hot chocolate and some marshmallows in it. And that's the best thing to do.
Well, in my father's language, which is the Zambian language, you say "Mwikale wino." In my mother's language, you say "Salahantle," which means stay well, keep well, stay well, and most importantly, keep very, very safe. We would like to have everybody here next year this time.
Yeah, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for interviewing me, and have a wonderful Christmas, everyone around the world, and try and speak to your loved ones if you can, and have a good time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I'm going to add one piece more there. Okay, and Tony, you're also involved in, you're still doing your fundraising for next year?
That's right, yeah. I'm trying to fundraise for a charity called Galloway's Society for Blind People in northwestern England, and I'm planning to go and hike the Inca Trail in Peru in actually April 2022 now to raise money for them. So.
Okay, well, I wish you all the best of that, and if anyone is out there listening, they could take a look at that and see how they could donate.
Yeah, I'm on my website page, elcafecitotraveltalks.com, and on Facebook. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you once again.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bueno, les deseo una muy feliz Navidad y les deseo salud, entendimiento, el amor de sus seres queridos y que se conecten con la gratitud y sigan disfrutando la vida.
Je souhaite joyeux Noël à tout le monde. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, bonne année, Happy New Year, and happy holidays.
Thank you for sharing a little bit of your holiday time with us. I think what's interesting in this holiday time is that although we're coming from different walks of life and different parts of this world, right now we see that we're pretty much all in the same situation. And I'd like to thank all of my guests from the 6 continents that have joined in with us today. So to give us an insight of what's happening in their end of the world. I'd like to wish everyone a super happy holidays, and please stay safe. Please follow the instructions that your local health authorities are giving for this holiday season. Let's make the best of it, but let's also be alive at the end of it. All the best for the year to come. I know that this year that we're ending right now has been a bit complicated, but hopefully next year will bring us joy and a lot more travel. Joyeux Noël à tous, Feliz Navidad y Próspero Año Nuevo. Thank you for listening in, and as always, you can find the contact information for 105.1 Mic FM in Montreal, and also the 6 people that I interviewed on each continent. I'd also like to invite everyone to subscribe on any one of the podcast providers so you get all the updates as soon as they come in. If you'd like to donate to this show, please take a look at the podcast notes to see how you could do so. All contributions will be gratefully appreciated. It could be as small as $1. Any questions, comments, or ways that I could improve the show, please send me an email to elcafecitotraveltalks@gmail.com. Bye for now, all the best, and please stay safe.